Hey, hello, and welcome back to Good Knit Kisses. I'm your host, Kristen. Excuse me. And good morning. Welcome to the replay. This is Good Knit Kisses broadcasting live to you from my studio. It's a mess today. Sorry. We creative types like to make a mess. Do you like to make a mess? So again, I'm Kristen with Good Knit Kisses. I teach how to knit, loom knit, and crochet, and a little bit of crafting on my channel, Good Knit Kisses, and love having you on here on Facebook Live. If you watch the replay, please, if you have a question, I would love to answer it. Write the word replay and ask your question. This is the best format right now for getting to questions with me. I have got thousands of emails, not a bragging point, that are unread because I wish I had more time. So anyway, it's good to see you. Last week we talked about vision statements and mission statements, and I wanted to kind of touch base on that again and see if anyone got to participate. If you're joining me for the first time, please write new and tell me where you're from. If you're joining me again, I'd love for you to shout out and tell me hello. Give me some likes and loves and hearts and whatever you want to do. And we are already friends on Facebook, sometimes I can see you pop on like Miss Susie. Welcome, Susie. I'm so glad you jumped on. You guys can't see when she jumps on, but apparently I can because I watched the playback the other day and I'm like, I'm saying hi to people and it doesn't show that. So anyway, I'm so glad you're here. So if you joined me last week, please hit the like button real quick and let everyone know if you did. And last week we talked about something which may kind of get brushed aside and under the carpet. And I really want to harp on it one more time here. I think it's important to have a mission statement, have a vision, because no matter if you are in business to sell or even just to give, I think it is good to have a mission statement. You can have one about your life, but you can also have one about just your crafting part of your biz. Let's face it, if you're here, you like to craft in some way, right? Usually you're going to be doing some kind of knitting or crocheting or whatever, whether it's on in needles or a loom or on a machine or whatever. You love to get into some yarn, right? Am I right? Okay, so, another friend has joined me that you can't see, but I see her. Hi, Robin. You can't sneak on if you're one of my friends because apparently it lets me know. So good morning. And we are talking about having a mission statement, whether it's for your business or for life. It's very important. We talked about it last week, and I will talk about mine again one more time because I really want to get you guys looking at this, because what it does is, with today's society is just so go, go, go. I mean, example, yesterday, my daughter and I went to the grocery store, and I hadn't been to the grocery store in a while on a weekend, and I remembered why. Because, and maybe because I just got back from Colorado a few weeks ago, but it was crazy. Everybody is like rushing. I mean, I felt like nobody cared about another person. And I don't think that's normally the case at my grocery store, but it was just like there was something about a Sunday afternoon. Nobody was relaxed. Everybody was pushing their way. And my daughter and I were like, what is going on? Is there a fire somewhere? It was a beautiful day outside. And I guess they just wanted to get back home in it, but forgot about their manners inside. So here's the thing. A lot of people are pushing you for things and you have to say no sometimes, and that's okay. So, but knowing your mission statement, knowing you're like, yes, I should do that. That is part of my mission, like a reminder, not like but be like, go back to remind yourself why you're doing something, and feel free to say yes or no about something. So I'm going to read mine off and then we'll move on to the next thing that I want to talk about real quick. So I'm going to read mine just to get it to you. I've got to move it out of my way so I can see it. Okay. I'm looking at my computer right now. Okay, so my mission is to encourage, inspire, and empower people through education and design. That's pretty generic, but it actually does allow me to say yes or no to things and or consider things a little bit more. It's like, does that fall in that category? If it does, I need to consider it a little bit more. Okay, and then my vision statement is longer. And it's got some more personal things that I don't normally like put my vision statement out there, but it's for me, right? So, and I write it as an hour because I have a husband as a partner. Well, I mean, he's my husband. So anyway, I say hour. And I plan on making the company bigger one day, I hope, and my kids to join in. Our vision is to leave an inspired crafting world for future generations that continues to teach and reach others. It is the understanding that this company, Good Knit Kisses and Kristen Mangus, will focus initially on creating fun, interactive, innovative, educational videos and content primarily for crafters. Fundamentals of crafts will be taught, as well as designs by Kristen Mangus or other chosen artists or companies to feature from time to time. Quality and trusted reviews of products will be provided. The company will be a Christian-based company with the understanding that the company would put aside 10% gross of all revenue for God to reach out and encourage new and existing crafters to new heights in their craft and in life to teach and lift up others as well. Well, this broadcast falls in that category quite clearly. So, I'd, love to do that. And then I, come up with like a little elevator speech, a 30-second to 1-minute thing that you can talk to somebody about in a minute when they say, tell me about you, tell me about what you do. So, you kind of come up with like a short, succinct thing about what you do. Some people go for shock factor. Some people go for reality factor. I go for something a little in between. But anyway, just something about you. The second thing I wanted to do is encourage you to get in a group locally or start a group. Even if you don't feel like a leader or whatever, part of leading is being a good follower and coming alongside someone. Good morning, Andrea. Hi. Thank you for the shout out this morning. I hope you're doing well. It looks like I'm looking away from you, but I'm reading your comment on one side and the camera's on the other. Anyway, so I want to encourage you to get in a local group. If there's a local guild, a knitting or crochet guild, or spinning, you could be a weaver, get in a group or start a group. And you don't necessarily have to start a guild, but if you start a group, maybe it will grow into a guild. But I started one. Oh, you're back to college today? That's okay though. That's good for your mind. I'm glad you go back to college, Andrea. At least you've got your yarny goodness stuff on the side you can do to chill, right? Yeah, so, getting a group together, even in college, finding one or two people as a group. I would not be disappointed to have a buddy, even a local buddy, even if you were like, I am in the boonies. I am way out in the middle of nowhere, Kristen. There's nobody near me. Well, fine. Then you know what? Go on my Good Knit Kisses Loom Knit and Craft Club on Facebook. It's a private group. We have like 15,000 people on there, but it's a private group. And we do have a document in there and that shows like where some people are from, so you can kind of hook up crafty wise. But even if you can't, like, say you find someone in your state, but they're like nowhere near you, you could totally like either FaceTime or whatever Android has, or like do a Google Hangout or do like a some other kind of like a Skype or something like that, and just kind of get together and do your thing. I think it's really good. It's good for yourself. It's good for them. It kind of gets you out of that thing, and it keeps you in that technology, but at the same time, it gets you involved with another person rather than just being on the computer and just typing away those relationships. It's good to be like face to face with one another. I always think it's good to be in community with one another face to face. So I think it can make a world of difference for you. A lot of people get into crafty stuff because they may have like health issues at home or whatnot that keep them homebound. And I think in this day and age, there's so many people like rushing around, even crafters, like we get stuck in like, oh, I'm going to pin this. I want to do this thing later. And I'm like, we're on the computer and then we're typing, we're looking, we're in our devices and stuff. We need to look out. We need to look at other people around us. And if we don't have any crafty people around us, find someone else who is, and like get face to face and just have a moment, plug your phone into the wall jack to keep it charged. Get on a Wi-Fi at like a Starbucks or something. You can get a anyway, connection. I was like, you can get a Trenti Venti water at Starbucks. It's really good. It gets you like just a little biscuit. You can get the water for free and get a little biscuit or something and eat and chat with somebody. Go to Wi-Fi and y'all could be at two different ones somewhere. Hey, good morning, Betty. I'm glad you're here. Betty and Andrea, where are y'all from? I know I've seen you on here before, or Andrea, I know I've seen you on here before. I'm trying to remember where. So let's see. We are doing good on time. I did not have any Q&As from last week. We had a whole lot of loving that we talked about the mission statement. If you did not check out the video from last week, I went into the mission statement really long and I think kind of more in depth. And please check out that video from last Monday. I think it's good. Oh, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Oh, awesome. Oh, good morning, Pam. Welcome. And East Tennessee, Betty. Oh, that's cool. We went out to Tennessee a few years ago, Gatlinburg, and that was fun. I want to go back out. There's a lot of handcrafts and some other things out there that I want to check out again. Hey, good morning, Ellie. Welcome. I'm so glad to have y'all on here. Linda, you're in Northern New Jersey. Oh, thank you. You love the videos. Thank you. So anyway, I went back and I go back like 1 week. Oh, Eileen, you're from Canada, Toronto. Welcome, y'all. Okay, so on these live Facebook videos, it works really well. It works better if you ask me questions or let me know like what you're wanting to see from me in upcoming broadcasts. I'm doing them 5 days a week. I'm doing Monday is Q&A, Tuesday is loom knitting. Like Q&A could be like anything. Monday Q&A, Tuesday loom knitting, Wednesday is knitting and yarn, like needles and yarn, and then Thursday crochet, and Friday social media. Hey Jennifer, welcome from Ohio. Nice. Sorry, I was about to break out into the Ohio song. I'm sure you're sick of hearing it. Almost. And anyway, sorry, I was a squirrel. Anyway, I'm doing these 5 days a week. I think it's cool to see someone like each day. I think it's kind of neat. I mean, if you guys like it, I've had feedback that you like it, but I need to make sure I'm providing information that you need. Hey, Patricia, welcome. I know you had to leave us early last time. She hasn't said anything. By the way, if you're friends with me, if you missed it earlier, if you're friends with me on Facebook, I see when you join. It's really cool. But not everybody else can see that. So, hello. Oh, from Ithaca, Michigan. I'm giving the wrong accent here. Hey, Chrissy. Good morning. It's not morning for Patricia. It's pretty late for her. But anyway, so I'd like to provide stuff. Please let me know what your questions are. Also, here's the deal. So tomorrow is loom knitting. I would love to do a, live tutorial on loom knitting. I can do it on several different things. I hesitate to do it on something like super complicated because it would just, most people anyway, wouldn't be like following along. So, but I can do some basic stuff and of course answer some questions or like some trouble spots. If you've had a trouble on something, maybe I can like work up something in advance and then kind of go through that trouble spot. But Thursday is crochet and I'm going to do a live tutorial on that this week. So if you're interested in some crochet at all, I can do that. I'm going to be doing some basic stuff. And if you missed the knitting one, I did a needle tutorial last week. It went kind of long, but it worked really well. And, I think people enjoyed that. So, that is kind of it for today. I've seen several people. I just want to kind of touch base on something real quick about swatches and quantity of yarn. One of the things that I see a lot, and Carol she's kind of my virtual assistant out of the goodness of her heart to help me sort through stuff. But she said that people, oh, you can knit, never crocheted. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Crochet Thursday. Yes. Awesome. Just get a hook and yarn, whatever you want to learn with. I always like the bigger ones, bigger hooks and yarn to see stitches, but, get something that's not terribly fuzzy that, so you can see the stitches real well. So, I need to check out that question, Andrea. Hold on one second. I'm going to talk about, swatches just for a second. Anyway, what Carol has noticed that, and I have too, many people ask, you know, how much yarn do I need for X project? If you have a pattern, you have a good indication of how much you need. And also like if you make a swatch, like if the pattern actually has a gauge listed, if you will make a swatch, like a little 4x4 or 6x6 or whatever, you know, or 5x5, any in that kind of frame, if you'll make a little flat swatch of that and then measure it out, you can actually gauge how big it's going to be. Because if you know the size, you know, you can do things in squares and then multiply. The best way to do it, I think, is to have a gram scale. It's a postal scale. Hold on. Let me get mine out. I wasn't ready, but I have that. I actually keep the box so that I don't damage it, and I take it in and out of the box. And I got this for less than $20 US. I want to say it was like 15 or something. I don't know. This one's just a 3 pound or 1.3 kilogram, digital postal scale. This is from Dymo. Not that I'm all about the brand. I was just all about trying to get, a cheap scale, you know. I wish it went up to 5 pounds, but 3 was just fine. It switches between, grams and pounds. And, anyway, it's pretty simple to use. I can do a tutorial on it if you want. And you're like, okay, what does size and a gram scale have to do with estimating the yarn? Well, I'll tell you, let's say you want to make a blanket that is, you know, so big. Okay. It's going to be a rectangle or a square or whatever for the most part. Even if you make a triangle, you can like figure out a triangle in squares and figure out, you know, the square footage of that. Right. Okay. So you have a swatch, and then the swatch, if you weigh it and you've made it in the main stitch pattern and you weigh it, you can multiply that out times the square footage or square inches of your bigger project and figure out how much yarn of that particular yarn in that particular stitch that was made on that particular tool, whether that be needles or a loom or crochet or on a weaving loom or on a, can't even talk, a knitting machine, you can totally estimate how much yardage you need. Okay, you have to get a hook today. Is there a size? I like to use a larger size. I like to use like an L or a K, I use it on my marshmallow crochet baby blanket, and we're going to kind of go through that. And then I use the Bernat, baby blanket yarn. You might want to get that if you want to do that pattern and start it off. However, it's kind of fuzzy. It's a boucle and poofy. So, you know, you could also get another kind of yarn. The big twist from, like Joann's has this big twist yarn. Let me see. I've got some of it. It's really nice. I wish I had it with the ball, but it's a nice, smooth, twisty, chunky yarn. And that's a good one. You can use that. I think it's a 5. It's a bulky. Anyway, so I would encourage you to kind of learn more about that. I have videos on how to use a gram scale, how to do that. So check that out. It's the last in my series on needle knitting, but it can apply to anything. Let's see. I'm trying to go back. Let's see. Yeah. G or H, Ellie. Yeah, that's fine too. Or a K. Yeah. I use a K. Yeah, that's great about the scale. I love it. Best investment. And I keep it like in my bottom drawer, you know, I don't keep it hanging out. I'm still trying to learn crochet. The hardest part for me is the first row. Saw a video once for doing the chain and first row at the same time, but couldn't find it again. Have you done it? Oh, like all in one at the same time. I've seen it done, but I haven't done it because most of the time I'm doing it, I'm trying to do someone else's pattern and it's calling me to do something else on the first row, and I'd rather like keep it in the pattern. So, oh, that's your favorite, Pam? Yeah, love it. Love it. There's a project coming up. I'm not sure if I can say. What's today? It's the 29th. You're going to hear about something very soon. I'm going to want to buy some yarn for it. And I'll be doing a mystery stitch along. It's with a company. Shh. Anyway, I'm going to be blogging. I'm going to be blogging about a project pretty soon, but I can't talk much more about it. So I'm going to zip my lip. Yeah, they make great bears. They're really cute. Oh my gosh, totally not has to do with knitting or whatever, or crochet. But did y'all see those little towels folded up like a bear? Have y'all seen that little video? Like where you take a towel and you like fold it in thirds and then flip it over and twist it and put these little bands on it. It looks like a little bear. Aren't those cute? They're really cute. I can't figure out if I want to like make one to give to somebody because I'm like, I have this thing about like being a mom and like rubber bands and kids. But at the same time, I'm like, I wonder if we could like stitch it together. Like put the rubber band on there to hold it and then like get like an industrial needle and like stitch it into place and then take the rubber bands off and put some, anyway, I don't know. Maybe I should figure out how to do that. They're really cute. Okay, let me go back. Someone asked a question and I was a little stumped. Andrea asked me a question. She said, is it possible to go, I'm going to read it as written. Is it possible to go some eyelets on Buttercream Boucle Rainbow Luxe? Is it possible to get eyelets on the Buttercream Boucle Rainbow Luxe? Okay, I need to look up that yarn, but I know a rainbow boucle that Sensations has or had. You can get eyelets on pretty much anything. If you're knitting or crocheting, it depends on what you're doing. But if you're just doing like yarn overs to create the eyelets, I mean, yeah, you can get it, but you might have to block it. Like there are many people who are scared of blocking. And depending, like on the boucle, I would do like a wet block technique. You could like try and lightly steam it, but not like too close and not for too long. And what it does is it opens up the stitches. Okay. But then you need to get some rust proof T-pins and like pin it. Like, so you're going to open up the eyelet like this. So if you really want to let it go, you know, you're going to pin it into, some people say you can use a towel or something. But I don't like that because the towel moves around. So I use like the, you can use blocking boards or you can use like the kids' letter blocks. That's what I use. I use my kids' old letter blocks. They have like all kinds of holes stuffed in them now. Or you can even get like that foam stuff that people use to put seats out of, and then you put a towel over it and then use it to like kind of stuff it in there. But you have to do it while it's wet and then you wait for it to dry. And you can also steam it into place too, but you would steam it first and then put the pins on there because the pins are like holding it into place while it's drying. Now you don't want to like overstretch it and then you have this kind of wonky mess. But check out my video on wet blocking. If you'll look, if you have my app, I'm sorry, it's only available on iPhone or iPad. But if you have my app, you can search for my videos and it only looks for my videos. And then once you click on it, it goes directly to YouTube. So you can look for my stuff on YouTube too. It's just the app like lets you see just what I have. Let me scroll through. I hope I answered that question okay for you, Andrea. Let me scroll. I know y'all have asked me more questions, but I went backward. I'm getting a yes, yes, yes. Oh, I think that was about that bear. Have those patterns. I haven't tried it. Great baby shower gift. Yeah. I was actually thinking that when I gave a baby shower, like, you know, blanket and hat and stuff, I'm thinking that little bear would be kind of cute. because also they, they might want a little towel. I was thinking, like, if you found, like if you can sew and you made like a really wide border, like found a really cute, like, coordinating fabric and made like one of those ends, some people put like a decorative end or ribbon and they like sew it on. Like, I had a friend, she made like hooded towels, and she took like a towel and then she put a washcloth and then she sewed it on the end, like a little hooded thing. And then she added and stitched in, and, I'm not actually sure she might have used like that glue that's made for sewing, but I don't think she actually like sewed it, but she added ribbon. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I was thinking, like, when you do the folding, it like puts it across like as almost like the arms and the shirt. It looks like a shirt to me, because the trim is at the bottom. It's like, sorry, you can't even see. It's like the bottom of before the legs of the bear when you fold it. I'm sorry, we're talking about a video that I don't even have a link for you to see, but if you see it on Facebook, it's a towel bear. I don't know, I guess you'd call it, look up towel bear. And anyway, but I was thinking it would be cool because when you fold it the right way, that would look like a shirt, like in an offset color that coordinates. That would be cute. Put like maybe a little bow on the ear, like sideways. Anyway. Totally. Where did you see those bunnies? I've seen washcloth bunnies, but I don't know if that's what you're referring to. I've seen people do what's called boo-boo bunnies, where they take a washcloth and they bend it a certain way, and then you can somehow like stick an ice cube in it, and then you use that as a little boo-boo thing. I don't know if that's what you're referring to, Pam. But I was referring to this bear video for folding a towel, and then it looks like a little bear. Maybe I should find it on Facebook and then like show you guys. Let's see. I'll show you. Oh, I hate to see someone else's show someone else's thing, but I'll show like a quick thing. Let's flip the camera here. See that? Isn't that cute? Yeah, so she takes this, let me turn the sound off. She takes this bear and she takes a towel and folds it in thirds, and then she rolls it up the opposite way, halfway, and then puts a book to hold it, and then she rolls it up like this, and then now she's going to basically twist it at the halfway point, or she flips it in half but opposite, and then she twists it back around, okay, and then holds it and then puts it down, and then like a quarter of it at the bottom is exposed. I'm like, because it's like, there's no sound, like there's no instructions. And so like, this is the neck here for this rubber band. And then she puts little rubber bands for the ears. And I was thinking, well, you could do that. And then you could like stitch it, like sew it by hand to get those on there. Cause like, if you don't like to give rubber bands to a kid, but this little part right here is what I'm talking about. Like that would be kind of cool, is if it flipped in the right way and it was like a piece of fabric and it looked like a little shirt. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay. I need to not be showing someone else's content on my thing. I mean, props to her, and share her video, or his or her. It looks, she's got painted nails, so I'm assuming it's a woman. But, yeah, there's crochet patterns for bears and there's knitting patterns for bears. This was just kind of a fun thing that someone, did, but like, anyway, it's like, I go back and forth between giving a cute gift because it's cute, and then like reality mom wise, like, oh, I gotta undo this thing, or like I can't have the kids play with it because it's got rubber bands on it. And then it just sits there on a shelf and looks cute, probably in the bathroom. But anyway, this was so random today, y'all. Thank you for joining me. If you want to see a Q&A or like a tutorial on actually how to use the scale, let me know. Maybe we can do some stuff, but it's going to be like total math, which is people don't like to do. And my loom knitting people really don't like to do swatches. I wish they would. The other day, I made an error. I don't know why I said it. I mean, it's similar. I know why I said it, but I made a slight error. If you watch the needle knitting video, especially Ellie, when I tell you, so when you did the thumb cast on, that's actually like the half hitch. And I meant to say that. So it's like the E-wrap and then the fact that it's loopy cast on, but the half hitch cast on is actually just identical to the thumb. And in fact, in order to do the half hitch easier, you can do it like the thumb. So if anybody knows what I'm talking about, there you go. I'll probably say it again another day of the week, like maybe next Wednesday or something, for those people, the benefit of everyone who saw it last week. You like random, it's more real. Yeah, I'm completely random. Yeah, that's why I have to do the videos. It's probably better I do videos than do a bunch of live training, because I can go off in left field. So, you really like the thumb cast on? Yeah. And here's the thing. If you're a loom knitter and you want to make a swatch, like totally do the thumb cast on, do the half hitch, like look that stuff up, man. Because if you will take it and twist it and put the thumb down, you know, you learn how to do that. You know what I mean? If you watched the video last week, you can use that same technique for slapping that thing on your loom, okay? So when you do that, it's really fast, right? Then knit up your little swatch and figure out where you are. Now, what I would say, let me give you a little quickie tip on the scale here. Before you turn your scale on, put a bowl on it, a bowl that fits, okay? Because your scale, let me pull the scale out and show you. I'm showing a box. Let me show you the actual thing. Okay. This is my scale. Okay. Oh, that bowl is out of reach. Can you see that bowl in my mess? If you can, good for you. But it's like a Tupperware, really slick bowl. I turn on my scale after I put the bowl on. And then what it does is it weighs everything set at 0. Okay. And then when I put my yarn in, it starts weighing just my yarn. Okay. Now I can hit the hold button, and then if I have to move something, it leaves that number on there for me. Also the scale shuts down after no use, so it's not like you're crazy wasting batteries. Be sure and you're clicking on kilograms or pounds to make sure which one. I like to show things in grams. I feel like I have to get it back to ounces and everything later, but I think it's easier for me to calculate using grams. I think it's a more accurate reading. And anyway, so what I do is I weigh that ball, because not all balls are created equal. I can have 2 balls from the same company, and they are different weights. Anyway, so I can see what the starting weight of that particular ball are. They're the same company, they're the same brand, maybe they're different color, and so they weigh differently. Anyway, so it says that there's X amount of yards per. Anyway, and you can figure it out, and so you can figure out, okay, this ball actually has more yardage on it than the ball band says. Maybe it's over by a few. So I can know what my starting weight is, and then I can go from there, and then I can see what I took out of it, because your swatch is going to be really lightweight, right? So what you can do is put your yarn in here, knit up your sample, and you knew what your starting weight was, and then you can you can subtract the difference and say, okay, this is the weight of my actual sample. Another way to do it is to, if you forget to weigh it before, then just put inside the bowl your swatch and your yarn, and then remove the sample and see what's left. And sometimes I test and I put the sample in, I remove the ball, and I see if it works out right. If the sample's too light though, I recommend weighing the ball and then taking the swatch out of it, and then you can see the difference, because weighing the swatch by itself for a very lightweight small sample doesn't do very well. But anyway, this is how designers estimate. Most designers do it this way. They estimate their yardage, how much quantity they're asking you for based upon this. Especially like when I had to start doing this. Well, I did it before I was hired to do this, but I'm so glad I knew, because when I did a few craft contracts, when they hired me, I had to work with a specific amount of yarn inside the box. And so if I'm wrong, then the person who's knitting up the yardage that's included is out of luck because they're short. And I don't want anybody being short on my pattern. So I better be right, right? And then I'm going to like add, you know, a few yards in there, like a safety zone, because someone could knit very loosely, you know, and then they would need some more. So like weighing a pet at home. Oh yeah, Ellie. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Like if you're holding them and then you take them off. Anyway, so yeah, I just saw that. Okay. So there's all my randomies today, Kristenese randomies. So, anyway, thank you guys for joining me for my randomie broadcast. And by the way, sometimes I say scope. Have y'all noticed that I say, oh, that was a random scope, or that was a good scope today? Well, I started doing some broadcasting on Periscope last year when it first started, and I did it a lot. Or I watched a bunch of broadcasts, and I got used to saying scope because we like shortened the word Periscope. So if you see me say scope, that's what that is. So you're like, what is scope? Is she a hunter and that's her scope? Is it her scope of project? No, it's Periscope. So anyway, all right, y'all. Well, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you coming. Again, if you have questions for next week, please write replay. Do not write replay and just write comments on there. Like, I will read your stuff. You don't have to write replay on comments. It's totally, sorry, I had to reconnect. Anyway, it's totally cool. But yeah, just write replay and write your question so that I can answer it and be a better provider to you about that. Tomorrow is loom knitting day. If you have something that is a burning question of yours, go back to last week's loom knitting broadcast and go in there and write replay and write your question. You don't even have to watch the video, but just do that. And because I check that right before I get on and make sure there's any questions that someone had that I can answer in the time frame. So y'all have a great day. Send me out with some love, please, will you? Will you hit the love or like button? It makes me feel good to know that you guys are here and watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Love y'all, and we'll talk to you soon. Oh, thanks for the hearts. Love y'all.